Oh, today I have an exclusive for you. Exclusive. But this is not a homicide report. This is an indictment. And this is surrounding the homicide of Stephen Mack or Stephon Mack, which some of you guys may be familiar with. He is a cousin, a family member, presumably, of 051 Melly. And the two individuals charged with this homicide, this is the indictment for their charges. And we're going to just go ahead and read through this document. Count one. Let's start here. United States versus these individuals here: Anthony Montgomery Wilson, also known as AJ and Mike, and Preston Powell, also known as Marley. And their violations are some United States codes. I mean, this is a federal case. The special May 2022 grand jury charges on or about January 27, 2022, at Chicago in the Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division, and elsewhere. Anthony Montgomery Wilson, also known as AJ, and Mike City AJ, and Preston Powell, also known as Marley, defendants herein did conspire with each other and with others known and unknown to the grand jury to knowingly use and cause another to use a faculty of interstate commerce, namely a cellular phone and a 2014 Chrysler 300 automobile bearing Illinois license plate listed with intent that a murder be committed in violation of the laws of the state of Illinois, Chapter 720, Illinois Compiled Statute, Section 59-1, and other dash 55-1 and 55-2 are listed. Namely, the murder of victim A, as consideration for the receipt of and as consideration for a promise and agreement to pay a thing of pecuniary value, and the death of victim A did result. In violation of Title 18, United States Code Section 1958A. All right, and then we have count two. So just to recap the first count. Excuse me. And they are conspiring with each other to, with others known and unknown to the grand jury, of knowingly using a phone and a car with the intent to commit a murder. And the code would list the crime. So we'll get down to count two. All right, the special May 2022 grand jury further charges on or about January 27, 2022 at Chicago in the Northern District of Illinois, Eastern District, and elsewhere. Anthony Montgomery Wilson, also known as AJ, and Mike City AJ, and Preston Powell, also known as Marley, defendants herein did knowingly use and cause another to use a faculty of interstate commerce, namely a cellular phone and a 2014 Chrysler 300 automobile, bearing a license plate number, and that is the same text that we read above. So charging them with two counts of that. Get down to the third count. The special May 2022 grand jury further charges beginning on or about January 22nd and continuing until on or about January 27, 2022 at Chicago in the Northern District of Illinois, Eastern Division, and elsewhere. Anthony Montgomery Wilson, also known as AJ, and Mike City AJ, defendant herein knowing that he had previously been convicted of a crime punishable by a term of imprisonment exceeding 1 year, did knowingly possess in and affecting interstate commerce a firearm, namely a loaded Ruger AR-556 semi-automatic pistol bearing a serial number, which firearm had traveled in interstate commerce prior to defendant's possession of the firearm, in violation of Title 18 United States Code Section 922G1. And you could go to this section to find out what that violation is. We'll just keep reading the indictment here. A forfeiture allegation. The special May 2022 grand jury alleges, upon conviction of an offense in violation of Title 18, United States Codes 922G and 1958A, as set forth in this indictment, defendant shall forfeit to the United States of America any firearm and ammunition involved in and used in the offense as provided in Title 18. United States Code Section 924 D1 and Title 28, United States Code Section 2461 C. The property to be forfeited includes but is not limited to a Ruger AR-556 semi-automatic pistol bearing serial number listed and associated ammunition. So they're requesting that they forfeit a AR. So presumably they know that they have this AR, and they're being, I mean, pretty much forced to produce this. All right. Notice of special findings. The allegations set forth in counts 1 and 2 are incorporated here. The defendants, Anthony Montgomery Wilson, also known as AJ, and Mike City AJ, and Preston Powell, also known as Marley, were 18 years of age or older at the time of the offense alleged in count 1 and count 2. Intentionally killed victim A. Intentionally participated in an act contemplating that the life of a person would be taken, or intending that lethal force would be used in connection with a person other than one of the participants in the offense, and the victim died as a direct result of that act. And that falls directly under this code here, man. And they have, the way the government works, they have a lot of codes that they tie these charges to, which is how they pretty much get their conviction rate as high as it is, man. And I mean, because they can pretty much find a code to tie to any type of criminal act. Intentionally and specifically engaged in an act of violence, knowing that the act created a grave risk of death to a person other than one of the participants in the offense, such that participation in the act constituted a reckless disregard for human life, and the victim died as a direct result of the act. Yeah. Wow. All right. And intentionally and specifically engaged in the act of violence, knowing that the act created a grave risk of death to a person other than one of the participants in the offense, such that participation in the act constituted a reckless disregard for human life. Yeah. I mean, I just, I had to reread that just so I can understand it. But yeah, I mean, this is, you shoot a gun at anybody, this can be applied there. In the commission of the offense, knowingly created a grave risk of death to one or more persons in addition to the victim of the offense. Wow. And that section code is listed. We have some more. Committed the offense as consideration for the receipt or in the expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value. And that has its own. So this interpretation I have for here is receipt, expectation of the receipt of anything of pecuniary value. This is an interesting one here because it kind of infers, it covers a lot of wide ground. So if you committed an offense and you were expecting a receipt or in the expectation of a receipt. So if you expected or for a receipt of anything of value to commit a crime. Wow. And then we have committed the offense after substantial planning and premeditation to cause the death of a person. Yeah, wow. Intentionally killed or attempted to kill more than one person in a single criminal episode. Wow. And here we have reached the end of this document. And man, I mean, these guys have a big mountain to climb to come from under these charges. Now, I mean, the receipt one is interesting. I mean, but this could surround anything. Like if anything you commit a crime and you expect to get something back, how they know that there was some consideration for a receipt or there was some expectation of a receipt, and they might not get charged with all of these counts, all these charges and these counts. But no, definitely interesting there. And so, yeah, we're done with that one. And I hope you guys liked it. We just read through it really quick. Definitely subscribe. I will be dropping some more content today. And yes, I hope you have a great day. Peace.